Hello, we're going to review index match with a multiple criteria example. So let's first quickly look at our information here. So imagine that we have a list of employees here starting in column A with their ID, etc., sales commission, and this is by month. Notice if we go down, we can see there's 1 for January, 2 for February, etc., 3 for March. Okay, and we'd like to add to that expenses and region from a separate database. So for convenience, that separate database is shown over here starting in column K, but this could be either in another worksheet or even another Excel file. And so notice we have again employee ID and then expenses and region in columns P and Q. So we'd like to add expenses to our original data set starting in column A over here, particularly the expenses in column G. Can we use VLOOKUP for this? The answer is no, because VLOOKUP only matches on one item. Here we need to match on 2 items, one for the employee and one for the month. So it's a multiple criteria, and we'll use index and match for this. So we'll first work through the match part of it. Now what will match do? Match will tell us what row we need to pull information from for a given employee. Okay, so let's go over here in column I and just do match right quick. Okay, match. We'll pull up the LFX. Okay, so our lookup value, we'll do ID, we'll do month. So notice we're going to have two criteria to match on, both ID and month. Lookup array, well, we're first looking at ID, and in our other database, that's in column K. So I'll go over here and highlight all that. Now what I did there was hold down the shift key and then press end and down. The A5 again is for ID, and in our new database or second database, that's in column K. Now the second lookup value is month. That's the E5 lookup value, and our lookup array for that in our second database, that is in column O. Column O. So I'll just type in, so I now know the values to put in. So 05 through 0274 to match up. And we're going to want to be able to copy this down, so I'll need to make these absolute references. So I just highlight them in F4, and our match type is either 1, 0, or -1. And again, 0, if you recall, is for an exact match with the match function. So we'll put a 0 there. Click OK. Now notice we have it shows up NA there. This is an array formula since we've put the ands in there. And so I'll go back up here to the formula bar. I'm going to edit that. I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to enter it as an array formula. So I'm going to hold down the Control, Shift, and then hit Enter all together. Otherwise, we'll get that NA. So it's saying the match is on in row 1. Again, it's looking at the row here. So that's correct. Elongate month 1. Let's just copy that down for a few, and we can see here we got a 10 here for Bechtel month 1, and that corresponds, and this is actually 10 rows down. All right, so that's how the match works with multiple criteria. All right, so now let's build the index function. Go over here to G5 equals index. Little fx, that's the first item there. Alright, so the array, that's what we're pulling information from for expenses, and it could either be just column P or the whole table over here. So we'll do the whole table. Starts in K, that's K5. Notice I'll leave out the headers. I'm holding down the shift key and just highlighting, and then I'll hit the end and the down to highlight the whole area, and we need to make that absolute. So okay, Now the row number is based on that match result. That's in I5 currently. We'll edit that a little bit later. And then the column, okay, so we did K5 through Q274. That's referring to the column within the array. So let's see, counting over, we want expenses. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we get 5971, which looks correct. And we'll copy that down for a few here. See how it looks. So let's look for Bechtel. Now Bechtel's in row 10. So that's down here. 3538. 3538. Cranfield is in 19. You can see that down here. 5079. All right, now typically we want to put all this together. We don't want to have separate columns. So let's go back and edit this. I'm going to first go back over here to I, and we'll copy this. Now again, I just hit enter there. So Control Shift and enter. We'll go back now and replace I5 with the match. Okay. And I'm going to do Control V to paste that match in there. And again, this match function, given the ands in there, we've got to treat as an array function. I'm going to hold down the Control, Shift, and enter all together. Okay, so still a 5971, and then we can now copy this down. We should have the same numbers, and they are. All right. In fact, we can copy that all the way down. We get rid of this over here. All right, so now let's do region right quick. If I'd been a little bit smarter, maybe I could have built this so I could have pulled it over, but we'll do it from scratch here for example purposes. So equals index. Okay, so the array, we'll do the whole thing again. And we'll go ahead and hit FX so we can see this. All right, that needs to be absolute. Okay, now the row number, we're going to use the match again. And this time we're going to build it right here. So match, and what are we matching on? Well, we're matching on two things, right? Something for the employee, we'll use ID again. That's A5. And we're going to match on the month again, which is E5. Okay, now for A5, we should be looking in column K. All right, and I'll just type in K5, that's the first item, through K274, matching up with the end of the table in the array, that is. We're also matching on E5, which is month in the original. In the second database, that's in column O. So type in O5 through O274. We didn't make all this absolute, so let's see if I can. All right, so all that is absolute. Now let's jump down to the column. Just go back there so we can see that. Okay, go back to the column. We're looking at the region, which is the last item. And how many column numbers over is that? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I forgot one thing. Hold on for a second. Go back to match. Let's go to the end there. I didn't finish that off, did I? All right, because we're doing a function there within that row. So remember the other part of this, we'll do a comma. Now what type of match is it? It needs to be exact, so that's 0 for that. And then I need to close it out. Okay. Now if I just click on OK, we're just going to get a little NA, I believe, but we'll try that and see. Yeah, we get NA, and since this is an array formula, let's go back up and we're going to edit it, and I'll hold down the Control Shift Enter, and there we go. So it's saying 18 is the region for Alongi, if I'm saying that correctly. That looks right. We'll just copy it down for a few. Okay, for Bechtel, 13. Cranfield should be 12. So it appears like it's working correctly. So we'll just copy that very quickly. Double click. And what I would suggest if you're using this in general is to double check a few to make sure it's working correctly. But that's an example of using index and match when you have multiple criteria. And we could actually have more than two actually. So practice this on your own.